Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says 30 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in an Israeli strike on a school where displaced people were sheltering. Israel's military says Hamas militants were using the compound in the central town of Deir Al-Balah to launch attacks against troops and added that it had warned civilians in advance. Most of Gaza's estimated 2.4 million people have been displaced at least once in the past 9 months of war. Let's bring in DW's correspondent Rebecca Ritters, who joins us from Jerusalem. So, Rebecca, what more can you tell us about this attack on the school in Gaza?
Well, as you just mentioned, Mariana, the Israeli military has confirmed earlier today that they did indeed carry out these airstrikes. We believe it was multiple airstrikes on that UN school compound, housing about 4,000 people sheltering from this war, displaced from other areas in Gaza. That's according to the Palestinian Civil Defense. Now, the Israeli military said that Hamas had been using this compound to store weapons and to plan future attacks on the military. They also said that steps were taken to minimize the civilian casualties, but as you're reporting there, at least 30 people thought to be dead or said to be dead by the Gazan health ministry and also health officials at the Al-Aqsa hospital, and more than 100 injured. Some of the video that we're seeing coming out from the ground is truly harrowing, chaotic scenes, sadly not unfamiliar to people who have been following along in the last 9 months of this war. We're seeing women and children who have been caught up in this attack, severely injured. Now, we know that the hospitals are already struggling under the sheer weight of casualties that they're facing. They've got mass shortages of not only beds, but medicines, medical equipment, of course. Fewer numbers of staff who are fatigued and traumatized by the things that they have been witnessing over the last 9 months. Now, this comes just a few hours after the Israeli military announced that civilians in another part of the Strip, civilians sheltering in an area known as Al-Mawasi, near Khan Yunis in the southern part of the Strip, would have to leave that area because the Israeli military would be carrying out what they called operating in full force. That's a quote from the military statement. So many civilians from that area also having to leave those areas that are considered humanitarian safe areas.
That was DW correspondent Rebecca Ritters reporting from Jerusalem. Rebecca, thanks for bringing us up to date.